Brings a raya from a pasuk. V'chein moving mimashakosav ha'chochma me'ayin timotzi. Ha'chochma, where does chochma come about? Me'ayin timotzi. What does it mean me'ayin? From nothing. You won't find chochma in ayin. If you look in the ayin, in Keser, you will not find chochma. It's there, but it's not there. You cannot find, you cannot see it. And when it came out of chochma, it's considered something totally new. Ha'chochma b'chinas yesh. It has a way of understanding. V'nimtzas mi ayin the Keser b'chinas yesh ma'ayin. It's becoming from ayin of Keser in a way of yesh ma'ayin, something from nothing. Even though generally we call yesh ma'ayin only on elam habriya. We only say on something which is not Eibishter, we say yesh ma'ayin. Here we're saying in lakus gufe, there's such ein areich, lagabe blitziur, beyond any formality, any definition. To should come into the definition, that's shalei b'erech, that's in of yesh ma'ayin, something from nothing before you never had such a thing. Okay, mishkos v'makam acher. And in other places it's explained that this is also the next word that says timotze. Shezau in timotze will be found. Kemei ha'metzir, just when someone finds something. She'eni yedu ma'ayin bo, you don't know where it's coming from. You can't trace back where it's coming from. You don't see its source in the thing. Kemei kim b'chinas ha'chochme eini yedeis mekir. So to chochma doesn't know it's mokir. And b'meila it has this, in this aspect that it has the same criteria. Kemei ha'yesh. Just like a yesh, it's a creation from the Eibishter. She'eini yedei masrik is mokar ma'aves. He doesn't know and understand the source that creates. And we're here for sure. We're going to have to differentiate the difference between the yesh that doesn't know it's mokir and chochma that doesn't know it's mokir. The yesh doesn't know the mokir, doesn't know it's mokir. He doesn't feel his mokir. He feels self. Chochma, it doesn't know. It doesn't comprehend. It doesn't have begili the mokir the way it is in Keser, because then he would lose himself. But chochma knows that it's me'ayin timotzi. Chochma is in touch with the fact that it's me'ayin timotzi. And that is chochma. Chochma is saying, where did I come from? Me'ayin. It doesn't have the ayin begili, because then he wouldn't be able to be chochma. But he knows. So here we see, on one hand we're saying Atzilus is Gilei HaHelam, it's a revelation, Eibush is revealing his keches. On the other hand we're saying that it's Be'ein Areich. So what is Atzilus? Is Atzilus Be'ein Areich or is Atzilus a revelation? So we'll see here, I'll bring another place which will show that also something new Atzilus. In Terei Paschal Yo it says, in Parshas Vayera it says like this: the Yeser Mishe Ein Areich Bria Legabe Atzilus Ein Areich Atzilus Legabe Ein Sof. More than Bria is no value to Atzilus. Atzilus is no value to Ein Sof. It's Ein Areich. Chod happy say such a thing. Bria is not the Eibishter. It's a creation. Atzilus is godliness. Still we say Yeser Mishe Ein Areich Bria Legabe Atzilus Ein Areich Atzilus Legabe Ein Sof. That's what Bria is. Bein Areich Legabe Atzilus. It's something new. It's not him. But Atzilus Legabe Ein Sof is even more Bein Areich. How could this be?
Because it's opposite of what you said before.
Because it's of Pshittis. It's Sof, it's him. It's still him. And here's something new. And still, but in Afal became. That's the flaw. Legabe Ein Sof, that they should become a Shiur. It's more Bein Areich. And he's soon going to explain this aspect of it. He's going to explain more about Reichus now, and then he's going to go next to see if he's going to go back to the first way he explained that Atzilus is Gilei HaHelam. So here he's going to stress on this part how it's Be'ein Areich. V'zeu she'imnim, and this is what we say, Ein Areich l'cho be'elam hazeh. There's nothing has value to you in our world. What is the meaning? We say this in Davening Shabbos. Ein Areich l'cho be'elam hazeh. Bechlal and Chassidus, when we say this, is that in this world is revealed the idea that nothing has value to you. But here he learns a new pshat, not the pshat, the regular pshat. He says it like this: us in our world, we can't express the value that things have to you. That's the way it touch. Here we can't be meidich things how they are compared to you. Touch. Dahainu. Sha'anachnu b'nei elam hazeh hagashmi. people of this physical world, Ein lonu leimar, we should not say, Shekemei she'elam hazeh, Huka ayin ukalei neged ha'elam el'im mikulam, Shu ruchni mi'eid, that just like this world is nothing, in regard to the higher world, the highest world, which is very spiritual, which means it's godly. Hakavon elam atzilus, shezeu elam ha'elyin, this is the higher world, the elam is biyah, nikra elam is ha'tachtenim. Biyah is called elam is ha'tachtenim because it's a creation, it's not the Eibishter, it's a tachten, it's not him. Eli means it's galakus. The kirdu, like we know, the Rabbeinu nishmas Eden, the Alter Rebbe, the Rebbe Rashab, whenever you speak about the Alter Rebbe, say Rabbeinu nishmas Eden. Hayeimer al atzilus, he would say about it. It's interesting that we call the Rebbe Rashab the Rebbe nishmas Eden. Stop. So Hayeimer al atzilus elyon. The Rebbe Rashab would say, the Alter Rebbe would say an atzilus elyon, hecher, von Eben, elyon, because it's elyon, it's alakus. So we shouldn't say that just we have no value to Atzilus. The same way we have no value to Atzilus, Atzilus is no value l'gab the Eibishter. He says, don't say like that. Nothing could bring out how things are valued to you. L'dam is bittul zel bittul zeh. You can't compare this bittul to this bittul. What pshat bittul? The hainu. She'ein l'dam is heder tfisas mokim, dem nit batref, da atzilus l'gabe irin sof baruch hu, leheder tfisas mokim, de biyah l'gabe atzilus. You can't say the same not worthiness of atzilus tein sof is the same thing as biyah isn't worth to atzilus. It's understood that biyah is not worth to atzilus, biyah is a creation, and his whole being is thanks to the Eibishter making it constantly. So on itself, it's nothing. There's nothing to it. The Eibishter wouldn't make it, it's not here. Its all being is what the Eibishter making. And the Eibishter is making, other than himself, a new creation. It's for sure Shalei Berach. To say the same thing, but to get Atzilus, the Gabe Ein Sof, is not correct. Because it's much greater Ein Sof. Why? He's going to explain.
They're both
Shalei Berach. Aber das aggressive Ein Arech.
Shalei Berach means there's no Erech. Both
In Shalei Berach Gufi do Kamedargis. You'll say, I have $10 and this guy has billions of dollars.
If that's still better.
Or they say blikvul geld afil. Imagine unlimited amount of money, yeah? So Shalei Berach, right? $1, what's the garbage? Imagine this guy Shalei blikvul money, yeah? Then there's someone has kol hamaylis, hot seichel, na bar midas teves, blikvul midas teves, blikvul seichel. What's the value of money? It's garnished. What's money? Money is Gelti blotte. It's dirt. Singumatria. What's money? Money is nothing. Today is here, tomorrow is not here. It's not something worthy. It's with this I could gain. I can sit online by menucha. I could daven. I could buy a mitzvah. You know the story with the two neshamas? One neshama was going down, coming down to this world, and another neshama was going up. Neshama coming down, asked the neshama, in the middle they met. Asked the neshama coming up, and he said, "What's down there?" She told him, down there with a few pennies you could buy a tzitze. You could buy a thread for tzitzes. So he started going, pressed accelerate the brake. He's going 100 miles per hour. He's running down. He heard the mile of a tzitze, and the mile you can't buy tzitzes. You can't put tzitzes in the atzilus. So he's just going with the whole neshamas. He tells him, don't run so fast. Till you get this penny, and the neshama could go up.
So you said that you can't compare the Atzilus is much higher.
So das ist der Wort, das Geld hat sich betrefft. Nicht betrefft, there's a lot of levels of nicht betrefft. Geld ist taka choshev Sach. Aber legabe Seichel hat sich kein betrefft. So you could say that there's two levels, that's what we're saying. Ein Areich of $1 to blikvul money is taka ein Areich. Aber Geld legabe Hecher, we gaan nicht kein Areich. Das ist right. Fine. Ja, der eine sein was sagt verkehrt, begon met genoeg begon afschaf. Fine. Gewoon even.
There's Atzilus. Can't compare.
The same thing is here. I don't know what most Atzilus legabe biyah is like saying from gold to make silver. Is a pelle also. Yeah? It's a pelle. From gold to make silver. But to make from nothing gold much further. From pshitas to make tziyur is a much greater pele than to make from one tzir a lower tzir. Even though the tzir that we have in Bais, Shalei Berech, it's really mugbal, it's emes limited, but sof they have some comparison. And such a gul and such a gul. But to make from Pshitas Ein Sof, infinite, to make from that any tzir, it's Shalei Berech Klau. That's what he's saying. We'll soon see over here, he's saying, he'll say even another word over here. We can't compare our, not... Ki hine bit leilem elyin negdi is borech. Why are we nullified legabe Atzilus? Verkehrt. Verkehrt. Here is speaking about Atzilus. Bit leilem elyin negdi is borech. The bit of Atzilus legabe de Eibishter hu mitzad shehu nivra. He uses interesting expressions. Is because it's a creation. He's separate from him, and he gives it life every moment. If the Eibusha wouldn't give it constantly life, it wouldn't exist. What's before Atzilus? It didn't exist. There was no Chochmah. He didn't see Chochmah. So the Eibusha is constantly making Chochmah. But the fact that we're bottled the something it's only Elyin is Atzilus, yeah. Nivra is Atzilus, yeah. The Santa knows the Losh Atzilus Nivra. But the Rebbe says, he said before that Atzilus is Yesh Me'ayin. So this idea, he called Yesh Me'ayin, says this way of being didn't exist before. There's a Losh in the Rikanti, he uses that the Kelim Atzilus are Bria. Das steht das. Ayin hakavon b'chinas bria mamish chas v'sholem. Because the Lukus l'shayachin is chachas kol hakol. You can't say that it's not him, but it's the inyan of bria means that it's Helam. He's not revealed. The fact that I see Shiur means the Eibishter is not being revealed. Just like a person's chokhmah. You could say, is this the person? Chokhmah, it's a teir dover. It's an expression of him. So legabe pshitas hanefesh heitzes ki'ilu. He's expressing himself not the way he is. Although we like to say that Chochmah is his galus odom, das ist tachlis meiles odom, was is a versteher, aber then he does the mention as a versteher. We have a proof that it's not so, because many people say, nish kein verstehers, that's not their build, that's not their meile. And their odom, is mehus odom, doesn't mention that. This is a whole achlekes about if the neshama is seichel. Now the Rebbe brings down the later memor, as the some that say that the neshama is seichel, that means the person's advantage is that he could act like intellect, and the truth is not so, because the person is beyond that. It's the etzem nefesh, the mesiris nefesh, the pshitus nefesh, the blikvol nefesh, and lagabe that to come into chokhmah, so to speak, to be mitzamtzim himself, to put himself into limited way of expression. Even though if we're looking milamat lamayil, we'll say chokhmah is reishis hagilui. It's the first way of expression, but it's an expression, and the Eibush is ein sof. And if we have to take them in a certain way, it's al derech nivre. It's kilo made. Even though we're saying before it's gilei ahelem, but here he's stressing on this side of the coin, the fact that it's nivre, the fact that it's yesh me'ayin, and therefore the bittul of Atzilus legabe in sof is a lot greater than os legabe Atzilus, because os legabe Atzilus, our tzir existed in Elokus, in Atzilus, but Atzilus legabe in sof. Upon the ways he's saying it now, in Ein Sof you don't find in Pshitus. When we say Pshitus, on one hand you say Pshitus is beyond anything. Lo yugdar begeder ma. He's a Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's the Machlekes, the Rambam and the Maharal. The Maharal said that the Rambam said that the Eibishter is Hu Yidei Vo Amada. And the Maharal was screaming, how can you say this about the Eibishter? We say HaKodesh Baruch Hu, V'lei HaSeichel Baruch Hu. Not the Eibishter is not in his intellect, even the greatest intellect you can say. The Eibishter is beyond that. All these shleimus and all these advantages, all these miles he say about the Eibishter create the idea of miles the Eibishter created. The whole idea of miles is a creation. It's a tzimtzum, and the Eibishter had to create it. It should be such an idea. Who made it? Should be. It's al derech hanivre. Therefore, it's considered al derech. The shalei be'erech. Therefore, I'm saying that the Alter Rebbe. The Rebbe is. I think the Rebbe Rashab is quoting the Alter Rebbe. Upon he's saying it's nivra. He said something and he says hakavone. So you see, it's a quote. Hakavone. He's all quoting the. Fine. So he says, this is when we speak about bit leilam elyon legabe the Eibishter, since it's something new, and v'cholok mimenu, so b'meile, If the Eibusher wouldn't make it happen, it wouldn't exist. That means going back to the source. Whoa, how's in the source? Pshitas. Now came a new way of being, a new way of revelation. It's 100%. I think a lot of beer this Loshen. Aber als sagt, darf man wissen, was steht. Aber wie Loshen aber drin. Heilige Werte nicht zu verstehen, whatever, this different expressions. Aber Bittel am Hasen, the Gdelim Elyon, but the Bittel of our world, the Gabi, the higher world, Eine Elo Mitzad, Shul Choshev Mimenu. The advantage of Atzilus is, it's a Choshev Eilom, Sharihu Gamkin Eilom. It's called a world, Shanikra Eilom HaElyon. And as Loshen Chassidus, it says that Eilom is Meloshen Helem. And this idea is true also when Negeit Atzilus. It's also a Helem. We can't see the ultimate pshitas of Ein Sof. The Eibush was mitzad himself. He didn't show himself, and that's how Tzilus came about. Shenis Hava Mein Ein Sof Baruch Hu was created by the Eibush. Rak Shul Choshev. It's more important. It's more connected with the Eibush. So the only advantage is it's Choshev b'Mayla Madrega Haruchnis v'Harchik Rav Beineihem. There's a great distance between them. Here the Dogish is an Alakus. The Eibush is Keiches, here's the Dogish and selfish Keiches. They're both on one level, they're Nivroim. And the receivers, which means they're made by him, they're not him. And even though that is Elam, is the one that gives over to the lower worlds. Would he not give? We would be nullified. The Mela will see the same thing. Just as we said when Negeit Atzilus. If at the Eibush there wouldn't be Mechai Atzilus, wouldn't be Maitzel Atzilus, it wouldn't be so to Benegeit Elam as Biyah. So the same not existence of Atzilus, because it's dependent, we're too dependent on Atzilus. How can you say that we're closer to Atzilus than Atzilus Ein Sof? And this he answers, first of all, this that Elam Elyon is giving us, it's not he is giving, is he the giver. So it's not we're not fight him. He's giving us from what it has, from its creation, from its source. And if it wouldn't come to us, then it would be lost. But it's not, first of all, it's not him being mevatlos. It's not Atzilus Zinyan. It's really this beetle, so to speak, of him not making us is really Gabe the Eibishter. And secondly, a second point he's saying, what would be if he would not give us? Would be nullified. But what would happen? But would it become like we never existed? What would be? We become nullified because the Eibush is not giving. What would happen? We would become included and stay in the state we were in the Elam Elyon in Atzilus. We would stay, not come out, we wouldn't come out, we'd still be on the level of Atzilus. But we know that everything was created in our world, is already exists in the higher world. There's nothing new down in this world. You have a grass down here, there's a grass, there's a mazla, there's an apple here, there's a malach, Michol, and then there's a sherish in the spheres of Atzilus, Chesed Atzilus, that's the sherish of Mesikos.
And this malach are in Atzilus? This malach are in Atzilus?
The malach, the sherish is in beyond until Atzilus. The kol mashenivri be'elam satachtenim, so kol be'elam elyon. Whatever is down here is already existing there. Kneda, the kol cholke that's cham de biyah, all the parts of dem tzemei chaim edaber b'ri yitzir anasiyah, yesh gam ba'atzilus. Everything existed as it and also has space and definitions. That's if it has definitions. Where do the definitions start? In the first place of definition, and only down here we're getting it in a minute way, in a smaller way. So there's nothing really new that's happening here. If we wouldn't exist on this level, we'd be existing on a higher level. Like it says, negate the Malachim. Why did the Malachim want to go? What's the Rotze Chukah to go in the Eil Lamaila? is because they realize how their life, the way they're living down there, we had it down the Bais Lagani of Lamed Beis, that they realize that the life they're living down here is, it's so to speak, they're cheated. They're not really living their utmost, their full way of living. The way they live, they exist in their source, they're Shalei Berach stronger. And that's the Chukka, that's the Rotz, and the person wants to be Eila. The person realizes that really the way he's living down here is a Yedida. It's Shalei Berach, Lagabi is real existence. Lagabi, he called his potential, his source, the person exists on a lot higher level. It's not that so he's created, he didn't exist, and now the Eibishter made him. The person himself existed on a higher level. If so, if this is the understanding that really we exist in Atzilus, so what would happen? We would be in a higher level, but not that it wouldn't exist. But the Eilam Elyon, you can't say that it existed in Ein Sof. In Ein Sof and Pshittis, you can't say you have Tziyur. Pshittis is not, you can't say that simplicity cannot make any Tziyur, but you can say that you'll find the Tziyur in the Pshittis. Shein Sof lav mikol midis klal. Ein Sof is higher than any of these limitations. Midis means measurements, ways of existence. If the Eibusha wouldn't give, then it wouldn't, then it become uis. Not that it would live at a higher level, it wouldn't be. That's why we say the Eilam Elyon is much more bein areich than Eilam Atachon legabe Eilam Elyon. Because Sof the Eilam Atachon exists in the Eilam Elyon already, like the Lashon Kol Mashi Yesh Be'abosho Yesh Bayam. Whatever exists in the Almadis, Galien, Mitzius, exists on a bitl dekaway in Atzilus, Bayam. Our first level, so to speak, of existence is Atzilus. Mashek and Atzilus is Aischachis. The Eibishter made Atzilus.